I'll just let him out and hopefully he won't be a nuisance. Yes. You go out, you stay out. Come on. Shoes on. Okay. So if you start sitting down, and quick assessment. I'm thinking next week we might do a class on body reading because if you want to, you let me know if you want to or not. But just, move your neck. How does it feel? When you look in the mirror in the morning, maybe you're looking at the distance between the ears and the collarbone. So if you're up on one shoulder, obviously there'll be a difference in the distance. You could be looking at the tension in your neck, your trapezius. So you might notice that one side of your neck is a little bit higher than the other. If you're down on the shoulder, on the right, that's that right side brain dominance thing where the spinal muscles on the right shorten with the diaphragm and bring you into a dropped right shoulder and a rotation. So these are some of the things we could get into with body reading if that's interesting to you. You might just want to do the exercises and not even think about it. So let's start with the salamander. We could do all sorts of different ones, but I always come back to this one because it is the best one in my opinion. So you're going to just hold your hands under your chair. You're going to take right ear to shoulder. Rather than focusing on ear to shoulder, focus on the upper ear stretching up towards the ceiling. So you're really retracting and lifting up through the skull to bring C1 and C2 back into the right place. And then you're looking down at the shoulder. So right ear to right shoulder, looking at the right shoulder. And then maybe with the left hand, you're just gently pulling on the underside of the chair. So if you want to get into the vagal releases, there is a video on YouTube that's got them all. And they're all great, but this is the one that you get the most out of it for the least amount of time. So if you're like me, you're like economy of action, you want to get in there and get out and get on with what you want to do, then this is the best one for so many different things in the body. So there's my yawn, my sigh. I'm getting a great neck stretch. As soon as you get the sigh, then you're looking up and away. So if you've got a clock in front of you, looking up at 10 o'clock, you're still keeping the right ear to the right shoulder, you're still stretching the neck, you're still gently pulling on the underside of the chair on the left side. And, if you don't get the sigh, the yawn, the swallow, you're doing it for about 30 seconds just to get that great stretch in the neck muscles. So very gently coming out because it is quite a strong stretch for the side of the neck. Move your nose. And then again, left ear to left shoulder, right side of jaw stretching up to the ceiling. So you feel your skull move backwards and upwards. And then you're looking down with both eyes at the left shoulder. And then maybe the right hand just gently pulling on the underside of the chair. So ideally, you would do this exercise at least once a day, just to keep bringing your head back into its perfect position and stop you going into forward head posture, rounding in the thoracic spine, breathing problems where the rib cage is impacted by the posture of the spine in the rib cage, whole load of things. And also anxiety and just social engagement. So if you're having a bad day, just go off somewhere quiet, just do this. Now we're looking away, up and away to 2 o'clock, and you'll feel much calmer. The breathing will change, the heart rate will slow, and you'll bring yourself back into a good place. I think so often people take medication for anxiety. If they learn these vagal releases, they could manage themselves and they could balance the nervous system themselves just by knowing, what to do and dealing with it quickly before it escalated into something worse. Just do some nose circles, move the head. So you're just releasing that strong feeling of stretching the side of the neck. So I talked about body reading and you're just sort of feeling your trapezius, the muscle that slopes up from the shoulder into the neck. So trapezius in the upper region connects to each of your cervical vertebrae. It's very influential in the neck. If you're tense or anxious, this muscle's going to really tighten up. If you do lots of work in the garden or whatever, it's going to tighten up. So I can feel, by feeling the muscle, that both sides are tight, but this side is tighter, and I can actually see by looking in the camera that I'm a little bit higher on this side as well. So this is where body reading comes into its own, because you can look at your body, the body's telling you a story, then you can know which muscles to go to and what to do. So I'm just, I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to squeeze. I'm using all 4 fingers and my thumb to squeeze the thick part of the muscle going up from the shoulder towards the neck. Sponging, squeeze the muscle, squeeze all the blood out of the muscle, and then release and let it refill. Squeeze. This is the quick fix for the trapezius and the neck. Refill. Now, if you want to get a little bit more advanced, you can squeeze and you can turn your head away from the side that you're working on and then look forward. So you're bringing in torsional releasing as well. So that's going to make it a much quicker, a much stronger release. I'm doing about 10, so squeeze, 1, 2, 3, turn away, release and look forward. Squeeze, 1, 2, 3, turn away, look forward. So I'm probably about 7, so we'll do 3 more. So this is a quick fix, but it's bringing in fresh blood, fresh lymph, and the torsional release is just really lengthening out the muscle fibers, which are shortening and tightening and bulking up, which is going to compress the nerves, it's going to cause pain, it's going to pull on the neck. Last one. So, you know, immediately that you've done that, just assess in the brain, and you can already feel very different right side, left side. If you float the arm, we didn't do a test before, but if you float the arm, you'll feel there's a different quality in the movement. You'll feel a little bit lighter on that right arm. So let's do opposite hands, the left side. We're going to squeeze, 1, 2, 3, release. So with trapezius, one side might be worse, but they're always both going to be out of balance. Squeeze. It's a little bit painful because these muscles are really tense for me. And releasing. Squeezing and maybe bringing your torsional release. So with trapezius, you turn away from the side that you're working on. So squeeze, 1, 2, 3, turn away, release and look forward. Squeeze, turn away. So opposite hand is much easier than trying to do this with the same side hands. Squeeze and turn away. So you want to feel from the base of the skull right the way down to the point of the shoulder as you do that torsional release, squeeze. I'll put up last week's class on YouTube and maybe this one as well today. Last week's was looking at different ways of releasing the neck using isometric pressure, which is a really nice new technique that we're just sort of going into. So you might want to check that out as well. So squeeze and turn away. We're doing 10, I think I'm probably about 9. Squeeze and turn away. So it doesn't take very long to do this, and then you've got a really good release in the neck. And now you should feel more balanced, and again, you should feel a little bit lighter in that hand. Check your range of motion. A few shrugs. So coming to standing, we're just starting with the vagal release and the neck. So we're going to use the chair or a wall for balance. We're going to start with the legs. So we're coming into what's called first position, hand on the hip. So you're going to remember last week we did some body reading and we looked at the height of our ASIS. So that prominent part of the front of the pelvis. So if you were to get a biro or a marker pen, you could mark those points. You could see if one side was higher than the other. You could also measure the distance between the bottom of the rib cage and the ASIS. And you might find that those spaces are different, where you've got a little bit of a rotation or weakness in the pelvis, all sorts of things. So it just points you to that weaker side. So we're going to hold the chair and we're going to just take the leg to the side. We're going to soften the standing knee. And then we're taking the foot slightly backwards, just very slightly. So it's slightly behind the shoulder and the hip with the big toe turned down. So we're getting into glute medius and we're just going to lift and lower. And as you do this small move, you don't want your torso to move. So if you're doing this, I can lift my legs so high and it's so easy, but there's no glute activity at all in that. It's all spinal. So it's just a little lift and lower, and the torso stays very square and it doesn't move. And as you turn your foot down and invert the foot, then you're really targeting glute medius. So glute medius is the muscle that holds the pelvis level. So if you know you've got a weaker side, we talked last week, I'll make this little part 1, part 2. You'll make the side that's weaker, you'll do more reps on. So maybe you do 2 or 3 sets of 10 on the weak side, and you do one set of 10 on the stronger side. So for me, this is the stronger side. If you're not sure, today we'll just do 10 on each side. So when you've done your 10, you're going to lift the foot and you're going to do minute, toe still pointing down, minute pulses through about 1 to 2 centimetre range. Not enough to move in the spine, but just enough to ask the muscle to work a little bit harder. And you notice the standing glutes as well. They're working pretty hard to stabilise. So when one leg is off the floor, the opposite side glutes, so there's 9 gluteal muscles, work to stabilise the hip and the pelvis. So when we're walking, our glutes are doing this. But if you've got a weak side, then the pelvis starts to hike up on that weak side. So carefully move the chair, or if you're holding the wall, you don't need to do anything, you're just turning around. So first position, that just relaxes your knee. You take the outside leg to the side. I'm on my weak side on this side. And you're going to take the foot slightly behind the shoulder and the hip line, big toe turn down, and you're lifting through whatever range you can lift without any reaction in the box of your body. So less is more. And if you put your hands, I've got my hands at the front, if you put your hands towards the back and dig your fingers in, you can feel glute medius. Glute medius is about the size, I reckon, at the size of your hand, and it's sort of coming around the side of the pelvis, attaching to the leg. So if you're on the weaker side, there'll be a different quality to the movement. It will feel less coordinated. It will feel like there's less connection to the muscles from the brain. If that's the case, use your fingers. You dig your fingers in so that you can use the nerves in the fingers to send some feedback to the brain that the muscle is contracting, so the brain gets a better picture. You're doing about 10 little tiny pulses. So if you look at last week's video, we found out through body reading which was the weaker side, and then we did 3 sets of 10 on that weak side and 1 set on the strong side. And come back down. And I did that, and I really didn't feel much fatigue in the muscle because the brain doesn't really talk to this side in my body. So just do a few knee bends, a few ponies. Turn around or carefully move your chair. So this one is a ballet exercise, and it's called attitude. You come into first position. You're going to take the outside leg to the back of the ankle, behind the foot. Keep your pelvis very square. You don't want your pelvis shifting. And then you're going to just see if you could press the knee backwards. So as you take the knee back, so it's attitude to the back of the body. You can do attitude to the front. Attitude just means in a sort of an angle, turned out angle. So this is going to activate the smaller gluteal muscles, the rotators, that are underneath the big gluteus maximus. So they're really important stabilization muscles. They can often be quite weak. And what you notice is if you fatigue quickly, you're on your strong side. Those muscles are tired, so I'm doing the thumbs up. I'm getting the smart thumb. It always makes me laugh. Easy to please. Maybe that way. It's not doing it. Got what I was saying now. I got distracted. So easily distracted. If you're on your strong side, then you'll fatigue quickly. If you're on your weak side, then you might need to do more than 1 set of 10 to feel anything at all. And so that's the side that you focus on. So try the other side. Reduce to 10. Push position. So you're taking the outside foot to the back of the standing foot. You've got your standing knee is soft. Your pelvis and your torso is very square. So if you have to turn to take that knee back, your body's just figured out how to cheat. So keep the pelvis very square. If you think of your hip bones like headlamps on a parked car, they're pointing forward, they're not moving around. And then whatever that movement is, that's the perfect range for you. So you can feel those rotators, those small muscles, really deep underneath the glute max, really working. So you're doing about 10. So often when we get pain, we think of it as stiffness, when it might also be weakness. So we get two sorts of pain. We get pain in one side because it's short and tight and it's overworked, and then we get pain in the other side because it's weak. So we need to strengthen up the weak side so that the tired side can relax. You come into more balance. And then every step that you take, your pelvis is held in that nice, true, neutral position, which helps your back, helps your SI joints, helps your hips, helps your knees, ankles, everything below. So we're getting rid of the chair. We're not doing anything more with the chair now. We're coming to the floor. Tip the camera, we're almost there, but a little bit more. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at that right side dominance. So we're going to just move that out of the way. We're going to come so that the right side of the body is on top. I've got a half roller here, I've got a pillow, I've got a football. If you've got a football, that's really, really handy to have. We've got a band or a stretchy scarf, but if you haven't got one, we can do all the exercises without the band. So to start with, we're coming into side lying. If you've got neck issues, you're going to put the pillow under your neck or the half roller. And you're going to, if you haven't got neck issues, you can prop your head up. So when you do these exercises, you want the vertebrae in the neck to be slightly angled up so that if you're overly dominant in the neck doesn't override what we're doing. If you've got a ball, you would use a ball. If you haven't got a ball, you'd put a pillow there, so you've got something to squeeze. So different positions, and this is preference now. Arm reaching forward so that you really feel those right top side ribs, or you can put the hands on the rib cage if you feel better with just feeling the expansion of the rib cage. So I'll do both. So you're going to stretch forward through the right arm, the top arm, and you're going to breathe in through the nose. And then you're going to hold your breath for 5, and you're going to slightly roll backwards. And then you're going to blow up the balloon, and you're going to press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as you blow out through the mouth and come back into neutral. So this exercise is specifically for pelvic floor and inner thighs. So you're breathing in as you reach. You're holding your breath and you're rolling just the pelvis, not the shoulder, back a little bit. And then you blow up the balloon and you press the top knee into the ball until you feel your waist, your pelvic floor, and your adductors tightening. And come back into neutral, relax. So breathe in and reach. Feel those ribs on the top side expanding, the waist lengthening. Hold the breath and roll slightly back through the pelvis. If you've got your arm forward, you can see that your shoulder is not moving. You breathe out, you press, so you blow up the balloon, strong breath. And you come back into neutral. 2 more, breathe in and reach. Hold the breath and roll back through the shoulder, through the pelvis, sorry. And then blow up the balloon and press. So this is going to turn off muscles that are locked and short and tight and relax the side that's overworking and activate the side that's not working. So one more time, breathe in and reach. Roll back through the pelvis. Hold the breath. Breathe out, blow up the balloon and press the top knee into the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and come back into neutral. The next exercise is for the back. You take the pillow or the ball and you place it down at the foot, and all the same position. So the head is up. Oops, got my cat being a nuisance now. Dogs and cats don't work with animals. So you want the foot on the ball, and you're going to either put the hands on the ribs or extend the arm, and you're going to breathe in and reach through the arm, expanding into the top side of the rib cage. This time, as you hold your breath, roll the pelvis slightly forward, and then as you blow up the balloon, you're sliding the foot on the ball or the pillow downwards and away. So you feel the long muscles of your back stretching. And then come back into your start position. So again, breathing into the top side of your rib cage. Feel the ribs expand, the waist opening. Hold the breath and the pelvis slightly rolls forward, just slightly, but the shoulders stay where they are. As you blow up the balloon, the leg slides down and away until you feel the deep back stretching. And come back. So most people, the right side is overly dominant, the short side is inhibited. So we're trying to release and open that top side and contract and wake up the lower side. So again, breathe in and reach. Feel the ribs on the top side, the right side expand. Hold the breath, but slightly roll your pelvis forward. Blow up the balloon and glide the foot down on the ball or the cushion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come back into your start position. So again, we're working on the brain. We're trying to correct things in the brain so that it's a really quick way. If you find the exercise that works for you, it's a really quick way to turn off overactive muscles or anywhere in the body, neck, torso, back, pelvis, legs, you name it. So breathe in and reach. Feel the ribs expanding. Hold the breath and slightly roll the top side pelvis forward. As you blow up the balloon, you're sliding the ball away, the cushion. You're feeling the stretch in your back. These muscles can be really tight and locked up, so just find what's comfortable and come back in. So one more, breathe in and reach. Roll the pelvis forward. Breathe out and slide the leg away. Come back into your start position. The final one is for glute medius, and so we're continuing what we did in the standing position. So either with the arm extended or the hand on the ribs, you're breathing into the top side. You feel the ribs expand, the waist opening and lengthening. Hold the breath. Stay lined up in this one. And this time, as you blow up the balloon, you're lifting the foot higher than the pelvis with the big toe turned down, just till you feel glute medius contract. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you come down either to the ball or the cushion. I'm losing my ball there, it's rolling away. So if you haven't got a ball or a cushion, you just hold the foot level with the pelvis. So you're breathing in and you're reaching. You're holding the breath for 5. You're turning the big toe down, and as you blow up the balloon, you're lifting the foot to wherever you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and come back down. So again, breathe in and reach. Feel the top side lengthening. Hold the breath. Blow up the balloon and feel the bottom side shortening and tightening as the muscles contract through the waist, through the abdominals. Foot should be a bit higher, foot turned down. Come back down. 2 more times. So again, reaching through the arm, breathing in. Hold the breath for 5. And then as you blow up the balloon, the toes are turned down. You're lifting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come back down. So one last time. Breathe in and reach. Hold the breath for 5. And then turn the toe down, blow up the balloon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And bring the leg back down. So the first one, the knee squeeze, is adductors pelvic floor. The long leg sliding away is the back, and then the foot lifting is the glutes and balancing the glutes. So 3 really good exercises. You only do it on the right side because of the right side dominance. So let's just now got the pillow for the neck. We've got a band or a scarf if you want to use a scarf. It's going to be a stretchy scarf. If you haven't got one, then do it without. So what you're going to do is you're going to tie the band or the scarf just above the knees, and you just want to have some resistance. You don't want it to be too difficult, and you can take the band away anytime if it gets too much. So let's change sides because we did the right side. Let's come on to the left side. So side lying, again, you could take care of your neck and make sure your neck is supported. Big toes together, and we're going to come into a clam. So you're just lifting and lowering. Make it nice and smooth. So we're really working on glutes to strengthen and stabilize the pelvis. When we work on the glutes, we switch off these overactive hip flexors. So hip flexors are in the front of the body to lift the leg and the knee. If we can strengthen the back of the body, that enables the hip flexors to relax. So then that brings us back into a much better alignment through the spine, through the pelvis. So 10 of those. And then maybe we're going to lift the knee, and we're going to go knee to knee, internal rotation of the femur. Big toe to big toe, external rotation. So knee to knee. Do it really slow, toe to toe. If you want to go a little bit stronger, knee to knee, see if you could take heel bone to heel bone. That's going to bring in more glutes. So knee to knee, heel to heel, knee to knee, heel to heel, knee to knee, heel to heel, and then just bring your knees together. Have a little bit of a rest so you can feel, especially the rotators, the deeper muscles under glute maximus working hard. So now just extend the leg, turn the big toe down. So we're coming back to glute medius, just doing very little, very slow pulses. This muscle's already tired, so you might not do 10. So remember, the side that gets tired quickly is the dominant overworking side. So for me, my glute on this side was complaining straight away. So this is my strong side. See if you can do 10, even if you need to stop for a little while and then go again. Keep the toe turned down. And then bring the knees together, a little bit of a rub, a few thumps. So let's change sides. So different side, different story. So let's just see, get your neck for your pillow for your neck if you need to. So we start with the clam. Make it a nice, smooth, slow movement. Keep the pelvis really still. So if your pelvis is rolling back, your brain is recognizing that the glutes are weak and it's trying to find something else to do the job. So a way you can stop that is to put your head in your hand on the floor and keep that front shoulder, that top shoulder in a slightly forward position. So we're doing 10. Think about the quality of the movement. Have you got good brain connection with that muscle? If you don't feel fatigue, then that's pointing you towards the weaker side. Maybe you do a few more. So a little bit of a rest. So for time, I'm just going to do 10. So we're going to lift the leg into a parallel position, knee to knee, internally rotated femur, big toe to big toe, externally rotated. Really good hip move. Turning out, toe to toe. Knee to knee, a little bit harder is heel bone to heel bone. You'll feel a lot more muscle firing up. Knee to knee, heel to heel. Knee to knee, heel to heel. knee to knee. So we're doing about 10, 5 of each. Knee to knee, so this last one, heel to heel, and let the knees come together. And a little bit of a rub if you need to. So the final one was the extended leg with the big toe turned down, and just very slow and very smooth, just lifting and lowering. So glute medius is a really important muscle, and all of the glutes are, but especially glute medius. You need to keep them strong. And as we get older, with each decade, these muscles weaken, and then we start to get into trouble with our back and with our pelvis, with our hips and our knees and ankles. So I can do a lot more than 10 on this side because this is my weak side. So I don't feel much fatigue. I don't feel the brain connection to these muscles. So if you know already which side is your weaker side, you would do a few more if you're doing this at home. So come to sitting. Let's give the legs a little bit of a rest. I'm going to let my naughty dog in because he's rattling the door. I'll edit this out of the video that goes online. Come on your bed. You naughty boy. On your bed. Come on. Wet and sticky. So grab your hang on. Change the pillow to the other side and grab your half roller, or you could use the pillow. So if you haven't got a half roller, you would use the pillow. I've got one. And we're going to just do a little bit of thoracic opening. So we're going to put the pillow or the half roller sort of just in the middle of the shoulder blades. And we're going to link the fingers, have the feet at hip space, chin is slightly tucked, and just gently look up at the ceiling and breathe in. And breathe out and contract your abs and look through the knees. Breathing in. Breathing out. So when you're doing this with a pillow, the size of the pillow is obviously going to increase your stretching. So if you get a really big pillow, it's actually going to increase the extension in your thoracic spine. If you do it with a small pillow, it's going to be a fairly easy option. Now, if you're comfortable with this, as you do this, you could open your elbows, let the head go a little bit further back, open the elbows, close the elbows, contract the abs, gently lift the head. Try not to pull on the neck. So use your breath and your abs. Breathe in to open. Feel the ribs expand. Breathe out, contract your abs, pull your belly button to the back of the rib cage. Breathing in. So just doing even 10 of these, your lumbar spine will feel much happier. Even your cervical spine in the neck will feel much happier once you've opened out this space. Sort of level with the shoulder blades. A couple more. And maybe on the last one, when you figured out where you are in this movement, you would just breathe in and open and just allow your body to stay there. Keep your chin tucked and just take some really deep breaths and stretch your elbows towards the floor. So you're really opening out the chest. And now we're focusing on the stretch, increasing with the breath. So as we inhale, we're getting more opening through the ribs. We're getting the pull of the diaphragm against the back of the rib cage. One more. A really lovely thing to do for your spine. And exhale. And then gently close the elbows. Float the head. Take the hands forward. And then you could lift the feet. You could just swing up into sitting. Push the pillow or the half roller out. And let's put it under the neck now. So maybe you've got your pillow and you're just sort of rolling up your pillow and you're using the pillow as a sort of a soft roller, and you're just going to fill the space of the back of the neck, and you're going to just gently roll your nose from right to left. So if I didn't have a roller, I would be folding my pillow, putting it into the back of the neck, oops, and then I'm using the pillow as I roll the head. Just explore tightness in the muscles. So as you turn from one side to the other, you might be bringing in some very tight muscles in the sides of the neck, in the back of the neck. So if you have got a half roller, you have the added benefit. You could use your ball as well. I forgot to say that. You could use your ball and you could just gently mobilize the neck. Make sure it's not overinflated. It's got to be a soft ball. Or if you've got the half roller, you've got the benefit of the firmness of the roller to massage the muscles along the rim of the skull and the muscles at the back of the neck. So if you're doing the rim of the skull, the nose is up to the ceiling. If you're doing the muscles in the back of the neck, drop your chin towards your chest and you'll really start to feel those capitis muscles. You could stay on one side and you could do some nodding, circles, side to side. So just move your nose around and just find where you feel the best releases. So nodding, side to side, and circles. Or you could just do the windscreen wiper where you're going from right to left and you're just really working the whole of the back of the neck and the back of the skull. So that's all we're going to do for the neck. We're going to take the head up and push away the half roller or the cushion, and we're going to swing up into sitting again. So that was really just to sort of look at the upper body, but it was also to give the legs a bit of a rest because we're going to get working with the legs again, so it's quite hard to do it without a break. So put the the band back above the knees again, and now we're coming into bridges. So when you do a bridge, you don't want to have a pillow under the head. You don't want your head being pushed forward. So if you feel very uncomfortable and your head is dropping to the floor, you could use the edge of the pillow just to give your head some support. So just the sort of front edge of the pillow so that your head is not being pushed forward. So figure out what's right for your neck. Have your feet at the width that you can feel a stretch in the band or the scarf. And we're just going to lift and lower. So this exercise is really going to help tight hip flexors. So you're really pushing into the heels. You're dropping your chin so you feel very long in the back of the neck. There's a couple of different things going on in the bridge. You're pushing into the heels. You feel like your kneecaps are pushing forward. You're gently pushing up at the ASIS. And we're lowering. So no spinal roll, just lift, push into the heels, push into the knees, push up through the hip flexors, but make sure the back is comfortable with that. So if you're very tight in the hip flexors, just be careful that you don't overextend in the spine. So keep it comfortable for the spine. So again, we're activating glutes, stretching hip flexors to restore balance in the pelvis. Couple more. And just that little bit of tension in the scarf or the band is enough to really activate the glutes. So this is where you need a stretchy band or a stretchy scarf. You're going to lift up, you're going to put your hands on the pelvis, and you're gently going to bounce the knees in and out. Just see how that feels. So what you'll notice is quite quickly you'll feel fatigue in the glutes because we've done quite a bit already for the glutes. So start small. If you've got any issues in the spine, keep it small. If your spine is okay, you can go to the really big myofascial bounce. So really waking up the brain connection to the glutes. So hopefully if you've figured out which is your weak side, you should be able to feel it fatiguing. The other side might be complaining quite loudly because it's already tired. It doesn't want to work any harder. So when you feel like you've reached your limit, just gently lift your pelvis up, keeping the spine comfortable, and then do some sort of a spinal roll to come down. It might be a bit clunky, but we're just trying to give the back a little bit of a stretch before we land the bottom, so that the back is already preparing to relax. And then bring the knees in and just give yourself a little bit of a knee hug. You do a bit of side to side swaying. While you're here, pull up through the pelvic floor, imprint the belly button, just to facilitate the back releasing. And maybe you're bringing the head into the knees, stretch the entire spine. Take a breath into the back of your rib cage, as low down in the ribs as you can get to. So if you can feel the low ribs in the side flaring and opening to the sides, that's great. That means it's a full deep breath, and then gently bring your head down. And then take the feet down, one and then the other. Now this exercise, working on the glutes again, you're going to lift your pelvis up and you're going to put your, let's do the right side down. You're going to put your left side of pelvis into your left hand and you're going to keep the pelvis there, and then you're going to drop the right side, but only as far as you can keep the left side of your pelvis still in the hand. So you don't want to let the left side come down. You're not trying to touch the floor. And we're going to do 10 drops on the right side. So you're dropping the right side and push the left side up into the hand and come back to level. Dropping the right side, push the left side up into the hand. And what you're going to get is a very strong stretch in the left hip. And you're going to fire up that left glute. So right side drops, keep the left side pushing into the hand. Hold there a little bit longer than you want to and come back to level. Right side drops, left pelvis pushes into hand. Feel the left glute and come back to level. This is 6. We're going for 10. Still got a bit of a stretch on the band and come back to level. This is 7. Do you feel the femur turning in the hip? The glute firing up. Level again. So my glute on this side is already tired, so it's letting me know it's there and it's working. 2 more, right side down, left side in hand. Last time, right side down, left side in hand. Come into center and then just lift a little bit higher. Make sure the spine's okay. Spinal roll down. So it's quite a nice isolation for the glutes and the pelvis. So now lifting up again. This time you've got right side of pelvis in hand, right hand. Left side of pelvis is dropping down, but only to the place that we can keep this side nice and still and come back. So we're not really trying to touch the floor. That's not going to happen. It's just the drop so that this femur turns into the hip and the glute fires up and come back to up. So left side down, right side stays in the hand. Feel the glute, 1, 2, 3, and releasing. Left side down, right side in the hand, 1, 2, 3, releasing. So I'm getting nice feedback in my weak side. So left side down, right side in hand, 1, 2, 3, relax. Left side down, right side up, 1, 2, 3, level. Left side down, right side in hand. Feel the glute, 1, 2, 3, level. 3 more. Left side down, right side in hand, 1, 2, 3. If you get tired, stop and have a rest. Left side down and maybe do them again when you've relaxed enough. 1, 2, 3, level. Last time, left side down, right side in hand, 1, 2, 3, come back to level, and then just lift a little bit higher and roll down through the spine, give the back a little bit of a stretch out. So I can feel both sides of my bottom very much awake now. Bring your knees in and just give yourself a little bit of a stretch. If you're feeling tightness in the back, pull up through the pelvic floor, imprint the belly button. So the back was working, the abs are working, the glutes are working. They're just not the primary muscles, but if you can feel them, then that's all pretty normal. Lovely. So let's just take the band away. We've had enough of the band. Let's just do a piriformis stretch. So we've worked the rotators. Let's just put the right foot on the left knee, and then just put the right hand on the right knee, and just very gently pumping the knee. So imagine, envisage the rotators at the back of the pelvis sort of stretching as you bounce the knee. So you want that to be a nice, gentle, rhythmic stretch, not percussive, not strong, not hard. You can expect the muscle to be doing that when it's just been worked really hard. So it's got to be very gentle, nice, gentle stretches. Work with your body. You can't force muscles to relax, but you can coax them to relax. So if that's feeling better now at the back of the pelvis, maybe you're lifting the foot up, take it to the next level, hold the foot, hold the knee, only if that's not pushing tension into your back. And then we're rocking the baby. So that again is stretching those muscles. You want to be about a 6 out of 10 in terms of stretch. You don't want to be a 9. You don't want to be pushing yourself into, agony or discomfort. You want to just feel slightly challenged, a little bit of tension there. And then put the foot down and just come into some sort of a hamstring stretch. So when we did the bridges, we were working the glutes, but we were working our hamstrings at the back as well. So just give them a little bit of a stretch. So maybe do 10. And, you can point and flex the toes. You can do ankle circles. If you've got back issues, you can turn your big toe down and then towards the inside of your knee and just stretch your sciatic nerve out. So if you look at your leg, it looks like a hockey stick and the big toe is pointing to the inner side of the knee. You know when it's sciatic nerve because you can feel that very dull ache in the back of the leg, and then just release. So left foot to right knee. You can always tell how tight you are in your rotators by how close the knee is to the head. So if it's up here, you're chronically tight. If it's way down here somewhere, which I can't get to, then that's great. So hand on the knee, and you're just doing that very gentle stretching. So not the big bounce, but just gentle stretch and release, stretch and release, stretch and release. It should feel good. I mean, that's always the benchmark. If it feels good, it's doing good. If it feels bad, it's probably doing something bad. So just nice and gentle. I can tell from doing that there's a bit more tension on this side than this side. And then when you're sure that you're in a happy place in the pelvis, then you maybe lift up the knee, and you're holding the foot, you're holding the knee, and you're rocking the baby. And again, should feel nice. So you're thinking about 6 out of 10. So we really worked those 9 gluteal muscles. So we're now just gently, we've strengthened them, we've balanced them, and now we're gently stretching them out again so that they come back into that nice middle position. We don't want to walk off and they're super, super tight. So once we've done that, we take the foot down, we take the foot to the ceiling, and we do maybe 10 hamstring stretches. So bend and straighten, find what's comfortable for you. Again, you're looking for that 6 out of 10. You maybe do some point and flex, calves and Achilles, ankle circles. And then we did the sciatic nerve, which is to pull the big toe towards the knee and then turn it in towards the inside of the knee. So you've got the hockey stick and you'll feel that dull ache up the back of the legs. So you're just stretching your sciatic nerve. So nerves need to be stretched as well as muscles. And gently release. Okay, so just hug the knees, give yourself a little bit of a spine stretch and just see how everything is feeling now. And slowly down. So we're going to take the feet to the floor and we're going to roll sideways, coming onto hands and knees. You could do this with the band if you wanted to be sort of really super advanced. So we're coming into what's called Rover's Revenge, which is another glute and rotator exercise. So you've got your hands under your shoulders, but you've got your knees and your feet together, and you're going to just take the knee out to the side and come back in. So with a band, this would be quite an advanced exercise. You're lifting and lowering, you're trying to keep your torso pretty much in place. So you're thinking about shoulders and hips sort of not moving too much. So Rover's Revenge. So you're lifting and lowering, lifting and lowering. You're doing 10. 9 and 10. Straight into the other side. 1. So you can usually change sides without a break because it's a different side. If you feel that your wrists don't like this, you can make 2 fists, and you can do this on your fists, which strengthens your wrists. So we're doing 10. 9 and 10. And then just sit into your heels and give your bottom a bit of a stretch. If your wrists are uncomfortable, do some wrist circles, open and close. So hands under shoulders, and this time we're going to have our knees under our hips, and we're going to keep the box of our body very still, and we're just going to slide our left leg out. We're just going to lift and lower in a range that the torso doesn't move. So you're not lifting higher than the pelvis. If you lift higher than the pelvis, the lumbar spine dips down and reacts. You want to stay in a neutral spine. You're just lifting and lowering. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. So now, turn your big toe to the side and lift with a turned out foot. So if you had a clock behind you, your foot is sort of pointing to 7 o'clock. Try and keep your body nice and still and in place, not moving off to the side. So that's an externally rotated hip again. We're really targeting some of those smaller muscles, smaller glutes. And then bring the knee in and sit into the heels. Give yourself a stretch and do some wrist circles. You just got to do the same to the other side. A bit of a stretch. So coming into hands under shoulders, knees under hips. So slide the other leg out. Think about where your pelvis is. You're lifting and lowering in a range that doesn't move your pelvis, doesn't move your rib cage. If your wrists are uncomfortable, you make the fists. Or you could put the pillow there and you could hold the pillow, put the hands at the side of the pillow. That will help to relax the wrists. You're just doing 10. You should walk away from today's class feeling very strong in our pelvis, very strong in our glutes. So then you're going to turn the big toe to what would be 5 o'clock if you're thinking of a clock behind you, and you're lifting and lowering. Not sure if my clocks make sense to other people, but it's just however you see it, but slightly turned out. For me, this is a lot harder on this side. So I've just noticed that my rotators are definitely weaker in this range. Make sure the body is not moving. It's all in the glutes. Last one. And bring the knees in and sit into stretch. Elbows down, do some wrist circles. Open and close. So let's roll up through the spine and let's finish with some abdominal work. So if you wanted to, we could grab the ball. We're going to put the ball under the left foot. I think we did these last week. These are really good because they force the brain to recruit more muscle fibers. So you've got your feet at hip space, pillow for the neck if you need it, and you're going to stretch out the psoas now. So to do that, we're going to breathe in, extend the leg, turn out. So the little toe drops towards the floor, but stay level at the pelvis. And then turn the big toe to the ceiling, and then breathe out, contract your abs to glide in. Now, if you think you're strong enough, you could do this with a slightly lifted foot. So either on the floor, slightly lifted. So you're breathing in, extend, turn out, and lower the foot to the floor. You breathe out, you use all your abdominals, you tighten the corset to come back in. If you want to go a little bit stronger, so I'm giving you options here. Float the hands to the ceiling. Breathe in, extend, turn out. So you're strengthening the psoas as it lengthens and as it shortens. And breathe out, contract your abs to come back in. Maybe, if you want to go stronger, so another alternative is to breathe in, float the arms to the ears, extend, turn out, and breathe out, strong abs to come back in. So if you do the arms overhead, make sure the torso stays very still. So breathing in, extend, arms to ears, little toe turning out towards the floor, and breathe out, strong abs. So you start to notice now that this is actually quite an advanced exercise. Breathe in, extend, turn out. You're using your psoas and your abdominal muscles and your back muscles. Breathe out, strong abs back into center. You should be feeling your powerhouse working nicely. Your back muscles are working, but you're in a neutral spine, neutral pelvis, so everything is nice and safe. One more. Breathing in, extend, turn out. Breathe out, strong abs, come back in. Just hug the knee and glide the ball away. Stretch your hip flexors. Bring the ball back in. Put the right foot, the other foot on the ball, whichever is the other foot for you. And we're going to do it all again. Hold the pelvis. So we started off with breathing in, slide the leg out. Turn the little toe to the floor. Breathe out, strong abs, come back in. You could do it all on the floor. If you're strong enough, float the foot slightly off the floor. Breathe in, extend, turn out, little toe to floor. Breathe out, use your powerhouse, and you can feel those abs are tired from the first set, so it's starting to build. If you want to go to the next level, float the arms. Breathe in, extend, turn out. Make sure the bones of your torso not moving around. Breathing out, strong abs come back into center. Arms to ears if you want to go a little bit stronger. So you're breathing in, float the arms to the ears, extend, turn out. Breathe out, strong abs, come back in. A few more. Breathing in, extend, turn out. Breathing out, use your powerhouse, tighten the corset to come back in. Two more. Breathe in, extend, turn out. Breathe out, strong abs, come back in. Last one. Breathe in, extend, turn out. Breathe out, strong abs, come all the way back in. And just bring the knee in and slide the ball away. Stretch. Bring the ball back in. Just finish now by hugging the knees. Bring the head into the knees. Slowly down with the head, just swinging up into sitting, and we finish. So, got quite hot on the last one. So well done. That's part 2 of what was last week's class. And hopefully they'll both go up on YouTube. Finished on time. I thought I was going to run out of time, but we didn't. Hang on. Here we go. Whoops. Okay.
That was perfect for me.
It's so humid here. I don't know about where you are, but it's rained and it's actually still quite...
Yeah.
And I had all the windows shut, so I'm sweating.
No, that was ideal for me. Thanks, Deb.
Yeah, we didn't need any equipment really, did
No,
we?
no,
Our
yeah, no,
bodies.
perfectly well, actually. That was
And
great.
if you go back and watch last week's, there's a little bit more in there
Okay,
about next, which you might actually like. So
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
put
my
them
next
on
bit.
the part 1 and part 2, and then you can find them on YouTube.
Okay, well, thank you. Have a good weekend.
You guys have a good weekend. Hunker down, batten
Yep,
down the hatches.
thanks, dear. Bye.
See you. Bye, John. See you.